Praise be Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this 26th Sunday at Ordinary Time. We're going to read from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 9, verses 38 to 43, verses 45 and 47 to 48. And this text presents a profound lesson on inclusion, humility, and the serious consequences of causing others to stumble in their faith. In this passage, John comes to Jesus reporting that they saw someone casting out demons in Jesus' name. But they tried to stop this person because he wasn't part of their elite group of the 12. There's an underlying assumption here that only those who follow Jesus in their way are allowed to do the work of God, creating this very exclusive inner circle of Jesus as to who has access to Jesus and who can perform good works in the name of Jesus. But Jesus quickly corrects John's mindset, saying, "Do not stop him, for whoever is not against us is for us." Jesus challenges this idea of exclusivity, teaching that God's work is not limited to one group or one way of thinking. His mission goes beyond all boundaries, and we are called to recognize all those who do good works, all those people who do good for humanity, as allies in the mission of Christ, regardless of whether they belong to one specific community or not. This is a challenging reminder even for us today. How often do we, like John, assume that our way of doing things is the only right way? We can easily fall into the trap of thinking that we, our church, our religion, our parish, our group, our ministry, are the only ones who truly follow Jesus. But today's gospel urges us to see beyond that very narrow view. Jesus asks us to recognize the goodness in others, to look for the seeds of goodness in others, and to celebrate anyone who works to bring about liberation to people, of the well-being of others, no matter who they are or what group they belong to. Then Jesus shifts to a stern warning about causing these little ones to stumble. In this context, the little ones are not children, but rather the marginalized, the excluded, all the invisible people of society, the ones who find hope in Jesus' message of love, of forgiveness, and community, those that the gospel for sure is good news. These little ones have put their trust in Jesus, but they are vulnerable to being scandalized by the actions of those within the Christian community. They're afraid of being outcast, as being labeled, of being ridiculed, of being told that they're not worthy. Jesus uses very strong language to emphasize this point. He says that anyone who causes one of these little ones to stumble would be better off having a large millstone tied around their neck and being thrown into the sea. And this isn't just a dramatic image. It's a deliberate and severe warning from Jesus, saying we cannot treat the outcast as outcasts. We cannot treat those who are most vulnerable in their faith and in their human state. We cannot treat them with disdain. In Jewish culture, drowning in the sea was seen as a hopeless death because it was believed that at the resurrection was only possible if one was buried in the land of Israel. And by saying that a millstone, a massive, immovable stone used to grind grain, should be tied around the person's neck, Jesus is ensuring that the body would sink into the bottom of the sea and will never resurface, meaning never have a chance of resurrection. This image reflects the depths of the responsibility we have not to lead others astray, especially those who are most vulnerable but seeking God. This severe warning about being thrown into the sea is meant to wake us up, right? It's meant to wake us up and to pay attention to our attitudes, because ambition, rivalry, and the desire for control can cause deep harm in a community, especially when it leads others away from Jesus. It is better, Jesus says, to face a fate like that of being thrown into the sea with a millstone around your neck than to cause one of these little ones to fall away because of our pride, our need to be the greatest, or our inclusion of others. Jesus goes on to speak about the drastic steps that we must take to remove sin from our lives. He talks about cutting off a hand, a foot, or gouging out an eye, using extreme imagery to stress the seriousness of removing anything that causes us or others to stumble. While he is speaking symbolically, the point is very clear. We must be willing to eliminate whatever in our lives leads us into sin, whether it's our ambition, our pride, our exclusivity, our selfishness, because these can harm not only us, but others as well. Jesus asks us to take a hard look at what we need to cut off in our lives to protect the faith of others. So as we reflect on this gospel, let us ask ourselves, are there ways in which we try to exclude others from God's work? Do we contribute to rivalry or ambition within our community? And most importantly, are we leading others closer to Christ, or are we causing them to stumble because of our attitudes, our beliefs, and our actions? God bless you.